This leaked audio reveals the exact moment the Slovenian national team's biggest asset became its biggest problem. In the middle of a critical FIBA qualifier, a hot mic caught a conversation that was never meant to be heard, exposing a deep fracture between superstar Luka Dončić and his head coach, Aleksander Sekulić. The common belief is that this is just Luka's famous passion boiling over, the competitive fire that makes him a generational talent. But the receipts, the specific words used, the suspicious origin of the leak, and the hundreds of millions of dollars hanging in the balance tell a different story. This wasn't just an argument. It was a direct challenge to authority that threatens to derail Slovenia's international hopes during a championship or bust window for their golden generation. Today, we're unpacking the entire timeline to answer three crucial questions. What exactly did the hot mic transcript reveal about their relationship? Why did this meltdown happen at the worst possible time for Slovenia? And how could the fallout involving clandestine recordings and NBA contract clauses permanently change Luka's commitment to his national team? We've mapped the timeline, pulled the CBA particulars, and analyzed the PR spin to get to the truth. But before we break down what was said, we have to ask the most critical question. How did this audio even get out? The initial assumption from fans and media was a simple mistake by the official FIBA broadcast, a sound engineer who left the channel open during a timeout. These things happen. But 24 hours after the leak, the European Broadcasting Union, which handles the international feed, released the statement on September 28, 2025. They stated their internal review found no anomalies. All huddle microphones were muted as per standard procedure. This immediately turned the investigation inward and ignited a firestorm within the Slovenian camp. Multiple sources, speaking to us on the condition of anonymity, pointed to a freelance photographer positioned near the team bench. His equipment, which included a high-sensitivity shotgun microphone for capturing ambient gain sounds for a documentary project, inadvertently recorded the entire exchange with stunning clarity. The audio file was then allegedly shopped to several European sports blogs before the notorious site Euroballers Daily published it. A media rights analyst we spoke with called the incident a total security catastrophe. He said, "Broadcast feeds are locked down. For audio this clean to come from a third party is almost unheard of. It implies either gross negligence in credentialing or malicious intent from someone with access." The delay in the Slovenian Basketball Federation's response only fueled theories of an internal leak, a disgruntled staff member, or a rival within the organization. This wasn't just a hot mic moment. It was a catastrophic security failure that proves the chaos you hear on the tape is matched by the chaos within the organization responsible for protecting its own players. Now for the words themselves. This wasn't a vague complaint about effort. This was a specific tactical mutiny in front of the entire team. The moment happened during a timeout with 3:15 left in the fourth quarter, with Slovenia clinging to a 2-point lead. The opposing team's star guard had just hit his fourth straight mid-range jumper off a high pick and roll, exploiting Slovenia's conservative drop coverage. As the team gathered, the transcript leaked by Euroballers Daily shows Coach Sekulić began drawing up a play, pleading, "We need better rotation on the weak side. Help the helper." Luka, having slammed a water bottle onto a seat, shot back, his voice escalating with frustration. "Rotation means nothing. He's killed us on the high screen 4 times. 4 times in a row. We have to switch. Just let me take him." Sekulić, trying to regain control in the huddle, responded, "We switch, they get a mismatch with their center in the post. Stick to the plan, we are still ahead." That's when the conversation turned from tactical to a personal indictment. Luka gestured dismissively at the clipboard and was heard saying, "The plan is not working. Are you watching the game or not?" The raw audio captured the stunned silence of the other players. Veterans on the bench stared at the floor, avoiding eye contact. An assistant coach had to physically step in between them to de-escalate the situation. A former EuroLeague coach who reviewed the tape for us put it bluntly, Once your best player asks the head coach if he's even watching the game, you've lost the room. It's a kill shot. It's not a suggestion, it's an accusation of incompetence. In that moment, Luka effectively told the entire team, "I am the coach now." And if you think this came out of nowhere, you haven't been paying close enough attention to the subtle cracks forming for years. While Coach Sekulić has been publicly praised for managing Luka's genius, this boiling point was predictable. Go back to the 2023 FIBA World Cup after Slovenia's quarterfinal loss to Canada. Multiple sources close to the team confirmed an incident where Luka, enraged by the stagnant late-game offense, reportedly took a marker to a whiteboard in the locker room himself. He drew up an end-of-game set, completely bypassing an assistant coach who was trying to address the team. It was seen as a major overstep at the time, but was quickly swept under the rug. Even Sekulić himself has hinted at the friction. After a heavy exhibition loss to Serbia in August 2025, he told the media he had a big desire. Maybe he will have to accept a little that quality matters here too. A veiled comment suggesting Luka's individual brilliance can't always overcome the team's overall limitations, a reality Luka clearly struggles to accept. This latest leak isn't a new crack in the foundation. It's the shattering of a fault line that's been trembling for years, revealing a power dynamic where the star player's patience with professional coaching has seemingly run out. But the shockwaves from this huddle in Europe are being felt most strongly thousands of miles away in Dallas, Texas, where the Mavericks front office is watching this drama with a $207 million reason to be concerned. Luka's 5-year Supermax contract, which pays him over $45 million this season alone, is the franchise's single most important asset. Buried deep in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement, Article 11, Section 1, Bullet C, are the intricate rules governing player participation in FIBA events. These are cross-referenced with individual player contracts that almost always include clauses limiting the team's liability for injuries. More importantly, they contain vague language about conduct detrimental to the team. According to a league source, within hours of the leak, Luka's agent, Bill Duffy of BDA Sports, was on the phone with both Mavericks GM Nico Harrison and the president of the Slovenian Federation. The conversation was reportedly about risk mitigation, which is agent speak for reminding the national team that while Luka loves his country, his health and brand are paramount to his 9-figure NBA contract. The Mavericks are less concerned about the argument itself and more about the mental and physical toll these emotionally charged, high-usage tournaments take on their franchise player. The money is the ultimate leverage. The massive insurance policy the KZS must take out to cover Luka's contract is another pressure point. Any incident deemed unprofessional could affect the terms of that policy, a financial burden a small federation can't afford. So, with the PR crisis brewing, a superstar defying the coach, and hundreds of millions of dollars at risk, how did the powers that be respond? With a masterclass in denial and deflection. On September 29th, the Slovenian Basketball Federation issued a terse 58-word statement claiming the audio was deceptively edited and released without context, and that the team remains fully united. They conveniently did not dispute the authenticity of the voices. Coach Sekulić was then put in front of the media the next day, where he looked exhausted. Flanked by a PR director, he stated at the 4:30 mark of the press conference, "Luka and I have a strong relationship built on honesty. We are both passionate. For us, this is normal discussion. For you, it is a story." After taking just 3 questions on the topic, the presser was abruptly ended. But the spin wasn't working. Prominent Slovenian sports commentator Aleš Novak called the federation's response an insult to the public's intelligence on his national radio show. Meanwhile, under FIBA's own Code of Conduct, Article 7.2, clearly states that players must show respect towards coaches and their decisions. The KZS's decision to completely ignore this rule and portray the incident as normal sends a clear message to everyone else on the roster. The rules simply do not apply to Luka. So, what have we truly learned? The leaked hot mic wasn't a simple broadcast accident, but a massive security lapse from within or around the Slovenian camp, pointing to gross negligence. The argument wasn't about a single play, but was a personal, public indictment of Coach Sekulić's competence. The culmination of years of simmering frustration. And the fallout extends all the way to Dallas, where the Mavericks front office and Luka's agent hold the contractual and financial leverage that will ultimately dictate his international future. This incident confirms the central, fragile truth of Slovenian basketball. The team is built entirely around one man's genius. His passion is their greatest strength, until the moment it becomes an uncontrollable liability that fractures the team from within. The real story here isn't that a player and coach argued, it's that in the battle for control of the Slovenian national team, the war is already over and Luka Dončić has won. To understand the power dynamics that govern these locker rooms and why superstars so often get their way, you need to see our breakdown of how player empowerment